Wait a minute, you're not Star Wars. Star Wars is supposed to be yellow. Bad Batch 201. Spoiler wall. Spoiler Star Wars. Treasure Island. Go, go, go. The three stooges are running away from giant monsters. Looks like, what do you call it? Sea snails? Crabs, I mean. There they are. The three stooges. What once was Star Wars, now it's slap comedy. I waited 2 years for this. Is this why YouTube deleted my 10,000 videos? Help me, Obi-Wan Luke. And here is the, what's it call it, girl or guy? I don't know. Please don't delete my video. YouTube, Susie, please don't delete my video. I don't know what I'm talking about. Actually, I do, but I'm not allowed to say a lot of things. People are so angry and sad that you can't talk about things like this character, for example. It's kind of like what happened in that one show. The Umbrella Academy. And she was like, you know what? I'm gonna change the name of my character. And so they changed the name of the character in the middle of the show. Running, running, running. So what? I accidentally showed some video and audio. The character at question is Omega. What's the gender of Omega? I thought it was a girl, but they're making it like not so. Apparently, I mean I don't know what's going on. That's a lot of crabs. I guess that's how the writers feel. All crabby inside. So are they focusing on her? So it's like the voice of Bart Simpson is a girl, even though the character is a guy. So it's not a big deal. It's like it doesn't really matter who voices a character. But what does matter is is the character a guy or a girl, a dude or a chick? And not to say that it matters, but it matters in that it's like, are you trying to confuse the audience on purpose? Hey, little girl, try staying inside the closet, Eminem. I'll try. I couldn't help myself. I had to come out. Look at me. I'm Rambo. Oh, baby, it was still so fun. Here is a planet. What planet is this? Avatar. No. Hey, look, everybody. It's Judy, my neighbor from Space 164. Growing up in the 90s. It's Judy. Used to babysit a lot of people. Some kind of babysitter thing. Not the homeschooling club. That was another person. This was like literally our neighbor in the ghetto in Oregon. Judy. It's Judy. So the what do you call it? The what show am I watching again? That's how memorable this is. I can't even remember. This is the Bad Bats. They're like the rejection group from the clone troopers from the prequels. Better late than dead. Who are you? What do you I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I'm Wanda Snakes, whatever. Well, that girl, my friend, she's like a pirate, but I trust her. And and she's also your next mission in the Outer Rim. This is the former home of Count Dooku. Who is that? Oh, that was the Jedi who totally betrayed the Jedi and like led the separate army. Yes, in the what do you call it? Civil War. I mean, Clone War. Judy wants to get some of the stuff from Count Dooku's palace. This guy, Mr. Rambo, is like, it's too much of a risk. Hey man, I understand this is really risky, but if you do it, you don't have to like ever work again. You can go hide away and you can protect that little kid, whatever gender that is. Omega, whatever she or he is, like protect you little kid and like Baby Yoda. Like this is like the Baby Yoda of the show. And you can go in hiding. This little heist will be like bigger than Ocean 11 and Ocean 12 and Ocean 13 and Ocean 14 and Ocean 8. TikTok. Other people need our help too. God damn it, that was the last time I ever helped. Mango Haze. Wait a minute, who's Germany's favorite? Mango Haze. I can't see him in Canada with Tyler Moore. Feel like I'm gonna stumble, sir. Dun 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 dun. If they were smart, they would put Darth Vader in this part. Dun dun dun. We're going hiking now. We're on our way. Lord of the Rings. Let's follow the hobbits, especially the Black Hobbit. Oh no, too much dirt.
Alright, so even though this show is a cartoon and it's made for children, it's actually more exciting than Kenobi. Kenobi was an interesting show. I watched it. I made videos about it that YouTube deleted, like totally deleted since they deleted over 10,000 videos. I talked about that. Hey, it's important because I didn't have 2 strikes. I mean, I didn't have 3 strikes. What am I saying? Like, it's totally effed up. But I tell you what, even though what YouTube did to me is pretty effed up, what Disney did to Star Wars is even more effed up. And this show is actually more interesting. Right now, it's like this first episode of season 2. They're in Count Dooku's palace. They're trying to get some of his loot, some of his war chest boxes, and then they accidentally, some of them got stuck in some of the boxes. And they're basically like storage units, and the clone troopers discovered that there was a problem because one of the troopers didn't report back because one of the strong guy knocked him over, and they're like, uh oh, and then they had to have a diversion, so they blew up some ships, and then they locked everything down, and then they launched the storage units into the air, and then some of the bad bass people were like, "We're done hiding." Started shooting, hopped onto the floating storage unit thingamabobber as it started floating away like the never-ending story. We gotta get out of this. Episode ends with cargo falling out of the sky and the little girl inside Omega. Episode 2, Ruin of War. Our way out is down. Aw, I was afraid you were gonna say that. Don't move. Who are you? I live here. I'm just an old man. I'm like Kenobi. Before I had my balls. Are you just gonna stand there? I'm keeping an eye on you, man. How dare you call me a girl? We gotta fight the Empire. We gotta get this stuff, the stolen loot. But if we steal it, does that mean we're just like the bad guys? Was Robin Hood a bad guy for stealing from the rich and giving back to the poor? Wait a minute. Who's giving who what to who to what? From the poor to the rich, or the rich to the poor, or this person to that person, these people to the other people? Who's doing what to what? What came first, the chicken or the egg? The rich people or the poor people? Robin Hood, the king? What came first? Well, Donatello, you know, from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you see, we got the archives of our people inside this thing. So the old man gave her a toy, and she's like, "Is this treasure?" And he's like, "No, it's an optical illusion. But a toy can make you feel good a lot better than gold or silver." And then she just snuck out like Home Alone without telling anybody. And now she's like trying to get the treasure. So what I find interesting is the whole premise to the show is the bad bass are the bad clones, but in essence they're the good people because they're not like everybody else. And it's a perfect analogy of life where they want you to be the same, and that's why they program you with programs, shows, movies, and you see it everywhere in big tech and big media and big school and everything else that's big and smart. Smart cars, smart phones, smart this and smart that, smart grids, you name it. If it's smart, if it's big, if it's centralized, it's like they want you to be a part of the herd mentality, and it's like that's society. It's the one collective. They want you inside the Borg. They don't want you to escape. They want you to think and talk like everybody else. That's another brick on the wall, Pink Floyd. We don't need no education. We don't need no thought control. It's just another brick on the wall. We don't want to be another brick on the wall. And that's the whole thing that's what it's all about, kind of thing. And I find it's kind of hilarious that one of the better shows that Disney has is a show about how free thinkers are the ones that are the rebels. They're the heroes of the show. Is that not irony enough to make somebody burst up in flames and laughter? I think it's kind of unique and it's kind of special that that's what the show is about. And I don't know if the irony is inside your face or not. It's like, do you get it? Do you see it? I think I do. So in the end, they were not able to collect the money, the treasure, the loot, and so they leave empty handed, which I think is pretty pathetic, knowing that they're pretty capable of doing a lot of crazy things. They're very skillful, and they can't even do this, and they have to do it. And this is the whole point of doing it in the first place, was getting it, and they fail, and the Empire should be going after them, and they shouldn't be assuming otherwise. Therefore, they might as well get everything they could because they have to go back into hiding, and empty-handed too, without money to support themselves. The treasure, so that they could lay low. You can't lay low if you don't have something to lay low with, like money, finances. So they totally failed, and I think that's pretty unlikely for these types of characters. If you're that skillful, I don't care if the show is made for children or not. It's like, this is not the kind of people that they're supposed to be. It's kind of like, that's what Star Wars does. They totally messed up Kenobi. They messed up Luke Skywalker. They're playing around with these characters too. Not a lot. They're still interesting. The show's not totally messed up. Like, I think they kind of don't mess it up because not a lot of people are watching it, so they don't, like, I guess the higher ups aren't like keeping their eyes on this cartoon because it's just a little show, so they're not totally messing it up. But it still has some problems. Meanwhile, there's a conversation between what do you call it, clone trooper and a general or something. So they're basically having a debate about whether or not the Bad Batch is still alive or not. Oh no, you can't tell Mr. Tarkin about this because that would make me look bad, okay, Snow Trooper? So you're gonna make a new report and not mention the Bad Batch. And then he's like, I'm not gonna falsify a report. And then this guy like says, okay, then I will. Boom, and he shoots him. And the trooper just falls off a cliff. And that's the end of the second episode, based on the original work of George Lucas, but not entirely anymore. We've drifted away from the creator, kind of like what Jeff Bezos of Amazon did with Lord of the Rings. Woo woo, ow ow.